Yeah, so I'm part of Pinode Collective. So Pinode is a collective project of experimental and artistic use of radio and web radio. We have 2 channels broadcasting on DAB, so digital FM, one in Mulhouse, east of France, and one in Paris. So I've been using the IceCast platform to develop some very topic-specific radio, which I will explain later. One of the earliest project was the Radio Billie Jean, which plays a collection of Billie Jean covers collected over P2P networks for about 20 years. And today I will focus on 3 more recent radio projects. So the first one is Radio Free Assange. So it's intended as a counter propaganda radio. The idea would be a copycat of Radio Free Asia, which is a US propaganda radio created after Tiananmen in the 90s to counter the Chinese narrative. And here we try to counter the US narrative about Julian Assange. So it started as a collection of audio documents sorted by topics or genre. And I'm using Liquidsoap here to broadcast, but I especially appreciate the rotate and switch function, which are the core of most of the project I will show today. So the Radio Free Assange radio is rotating 2 music, then 1 documentary short and 1 jingle, and again 2 music, 1 documentary and 1 jingle. So it's just a simple line of code, but we also have a kind of schedule which is useful to have a night and day program, but also come with to organize special events like a party mode with more music than talk, etc. It has also a featuring folder to adapt the broadcast to some timely event like demo by some activists, artistic exhibition like Noisy Leaks, or documentary releases, etc. Most of the content was collected on internet, like YouTube videos, SoundClouds, etc. But we also created some content, like most of the jingles were created for the radio. And we have 230 music files collected, and some sent by our audience because we invite people to participate. I will play a short snippet if I have time. So. Can you hear the music?
The biggest documents, global news.
The outstanding pieces of information.
Rupert Murdoch, The Times of London.
So I don't know if you can listen to the music, but yeah, it's on. Okay. And he says, so Julian was a great journalist. There's surely not enough media attention on his situation, being in jail for 4 years now, having committed no crime but truth. And Liquidsoap is helping the cause. Next project is a talking clock radio. So I posted the code on the Liquidsoap forum once. So on first last year, French government closed the Talking Clock project over the phone after 89 years of service. So it was a bit sad, and I decided to emulate the talking clock using Liquidsoap. After finding a pretty long sample with historic voice from the 70s, I split every word in a wave file. So each minute, each hour as a sample, also 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and 40 seconds. And here again, the switch function makes a cut-up machine based on local time. Here, the server time from France. And so I will again play a short example.
Dix-sept heures, 23 minutes, 40 secondes. Au quatrième top, il sera exactement 17 heures, 24 minutes. Dix-sept heures, 24 minutes, 10 secondes.
Yeah, so it is indeed the voice of Jean Lassalle, so one of the historic voice. So I invite you to look at the code on the GitHub forum. It's pretty simple and pretty rough, but it's a stable code. And next presentation is about my last project with the piano. So here we have a collection of piano, a huge collection of piano, sometimes solo, sometimes with another instrument, but sonically coherent, like mostly piano, in any genre from experimental, classical, neoclassical, minimalist, ambient, electronic, etc. So I choose Liquidsoap for this project after experimenting with other software solutions because I wanted to have a FLAC streaming with metadatas, and Liquidsoap was the easiest way to propose such a solution for both. But unfortunately, I found that all clients cannot listen more than one file. They get disconnected, like having an end of stream after each song. So I had to install a dedicated player solution which is the Icecast metadata player that I show you now. And this works great. And clients don't get disconnected or automatically reconnected, so they have no interruption of the sound. So the collection is over 5,000 files, which can play for about 15 days long. And so again, here I sorted the collection in 7 meta-genres. One is classical Baroque, contemporary modern, contemporary or modern, minimalism or avant-garde. Another topic is modern classical and improvisation. Another playlist is exotic ambient. Another playlist is nightclub, and another playlist is jazz and free jazz. In general use, the random can be a bit boring because it generates a pattern of number. So over the long term, it plays the same track over and over. So I used this meta playlist randomized and weighted like 2 classical Baroque, 2 modern classical, 1 contemporary modern, and another is 1 jazz, 2 classical Baroque, and 2 contemporary modern, etc. And this is a switch over the round of the 24 hours over the day. And from 6 to 9 we have this, and 9 to 12 we have another playlist. And this works pretty well to make a moody listening. So I like especially the Liquidsoap function like switch, wait, and time, which are all really adapted to online radio culture. But I would like to extend my syntactic capacity to experiment with more complex composing tools based on archive. To give an example, I was blocked when I wanted to choose a cue point based on the length of one file, because I don't know how to do that, basically. So I want to say that the Liquidsoap documentation is great, but the syntax is all but intuitive. And the code base example, it was definitely helpful and key to action in my case. So extending the code base example is a very good idea, and I would like to participate in that by sharing my my work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, sorry, I was trying to put my pen on again. So thank you very much. Is there any questions or remarks? Gilou, maybe?
Yeah, I had a remark. Like, I browsed through all the streams you have on your Icecast, and most of them are like historically crazy, like the kernel source code being read aloud by the synthetic voice, and the speaking clock, or whatever you call it in English. It wasn't working before, so I didn't get to join.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. Thanks for doing whatever you're doing. It's great.
Thank you.
I will say that I posted a link in the chat. The OG flag chain thing, we're suspecting that a lot of browsers get that implementation wrong and clients, but to be fully honest, I think for a while we also were not implementing the spec correctly, and this should be fixed in 2.2x. So I would give it another shout. The last thing you're going to face is that FFmpeg is currently not implementing the full thing correctly. I have a patch for them, but FFmpeg is also notoriously pretty bad at incorporating patches. So we could talk about that offline and help them.
Okay.
And the problem is going to be that then you're going to have to fix Safari.
Browser.
No, Safari doesn't do OGG, but browsers and not only browsers, but also media players that just tried to do it and then just stopped it, like M-Player as well, or whatever uses FFmpeg, obviously, but it's not. Yeah, and it's a nightmare. And it's really, for me, it's like very, very major reason for people not adopting OGG. Like, it's obvious to me, like, nobody in the same way will implement a publicly available stream using OGG, even though you have great metadata and stuff like that, because it doesn't work, and it has never been working.
Yeah. Okay.